This is a quick overview of how to play Bones of Many, a single-player role-playing adventure game. You'll first pick a character. There's 9 to choose from. We're going to pick Garsov. You take the other characters and flip them over, and then you'll pick a boss that you'll fight. Let's fight the Spellbound Skeleton. You will then pick a scoring method. We will do Treasure Hunt. And then finally, a boss trigger. Let's go with Prepared. Once we have those, we know what boss we're fighting, we know how we're scoring, and then we know how to trigger the boss. In this particular case, it's when you go through 8 settings. We'll put those aside for now. Now we take our character and a tracking sheet, and we'll put a white cube on his vigor and the blue cube on his vim. And we'll take 4 action cubes. Once you have that, you'll draw 2 settings face up and place your character on the first waypoint of either setting. In this case, let's go into the deep layer. Now, before we even start that, since we picked Prepared, we get to start with 1 random gear or ability. Let's take a gear. A journal. He has a journal. Now, the core of the game is you will explore each waypoint, encounter each thing on the side here, then either collect this card, score it, or discard it. And to explore, you have to activate glyphs. That's what these are. This is action and cunning. And to activate those, you simply take one of your cubes and put it on an ability that has those glyphs. You might have to use multiple action cubes if you don't have multiple glyphs in the same row. Once you do that, you'll then do whatever the encounter shows there. In this particular case, it's an interior encounter. So this is the arcane hallway. So we're going to encounter the arcane hallway. Encounters have 2 advantage sections, a adversary bar, and rewards. The way that it works is you will take 1 yellow die for your character. Whatever dice it shows down here, in this particular case 2 red dice. And then if you want to add more dice or gain other advantages, you have to activate glyphs in here. So, for instance, this journal has the lore glyph. That has the lore glyph. We can pay 1 to get another die there, so that would give us 2. And then we could use an action and a scroll. We have an action here and a scroll down here. So we could use up the rest of his cubes to gain 1 more die. Then we roll the dice, and it's the single highest die value that wins. In this case, we both have a high of 6. In the case of ties, you add up the rest of your values, and then whoever has the highest wins. In this particular case, it would be Garsov, because we have 15. So, now that we've passed this encounter, we can collect it. He can have up to 2, which he can use these values, these glyphs, later to activate advantages on other cards or to pay for explore costs. In this particular case, we can also set this one aside for scoring. We will get 1 point for scoring this as opposed to collecting it. So we can score it. Then we'll move on. In this case, the waypoint shows a crown. That means that the encounter is an elite boss of that type. So in this case, it would be a monster that shows the crown. Before we do that, of course, we have to explore. All of his action cubes are used, so we can perform a refresh action where we lower the Vim by 1, the Vigor by 1, and pick up all of these cubes. Now gear has this little 5 right here. This means that anytime you pull a die off of it, or a cube off of it, you have to roll to see if it gets destroyed. So a 5 or 6 and it gets destroyed. Whoop, he loses that. Okay, so we can't use that to explore, so we'll have to use one of his action cubes right here to explore. Then we'll draw the monster card here, and we have a Dread Guardian. So this shows a couple different things. This little icon here shows that we can re-roll one of our yellow dice. And this one, we would get to add another die. So what we see here is if I wanted to use this, I would have to spend this, activate this glyph, but it's already got a yellow die, a yellow cube on it. There is the exhaustion cube, which we can use and put on top. There's only one. So let's do that. That will activate this and the navigate. So if we activate this also, the cunning, we'll get both. We'll get the die we start with, plus 1 more for this, and we'll be able to reroll. It has dice that are already rolled, a 5, a 4, a 3. So we don't even have to roll any of their dice. So really what we need is a 6. We did not get it. So we'll take 1 damage and we'll also become lost. Let's fast forward a bit to the boss. If you recall, the trigger card says when we've scored or discarded 8 settings. So once we've moved through, let's say we've completed the deep layer, we can collect it and slide it underneath our character card and have an extra ability. In this case, we would, once we put a cube on it, we would actually gain a gear and then discard this. That will go back to the pool. You can only have 1 card under here. If we were to go through another setting successfully, we could then discard this one and keep this one. You can only have 1 at a time. So once we've gone through 8 settings, according to our trigger card, it will bring out the boss, which, if you recall, is the Spellbound Skeleton. You'll see that he has 2 sigils. One is this lion's head, and one is this skull with a candle on its head. So to defeat the skeleton, we will draw one of these cards, put it right here. Encounter it like any other encounter. We'll activate abilities, glyphs, roll dice. And once we do that, we'll go to the next one. We'll do the same thing. We can refresh as needed. Reassign cubes as needed to get the abilities. And let's say we get past that one. Then we'll actually go against this part of his card. If we win that, we win. And that's it.